So there are some questions which my students asked to solve. This is question A, B, C and D. It is about the bearings, right? The topic of bearing. We have 3 questions which were asked by my student to solve. So I'm making this video for them. That's how you can ask the questions, and I'll be making the videos and I'll be explaining those questions which you have some problem, right? So A, B, C and D are 4 corner of a rectangular plot marked out on a level ground. Now the important thing is that we have a rectangle here, right? But we are not going to draw a rectangle straight away like that, okay? Because the bearings are there, right? Given that the bearing of B from A is 0, 4, 0. Now you will start with A is point, and then you'll make a 40-degree bearing with A, and the line AB will be drawn at the bearing of 40 degree, right? So this is what you need to take care, because whenever we see a rectangle, we straight away draw a rectangle like that. It is not the case in this question. You have to draw the rectangle according to the bearing given, okay? And the bearing of C from A is 0, 9, 0, means that it is at 90 degrees, so it will be on a straight line of east. You can see C is in front of A in the east, right? And there is no information given for D, but we know that if it is a rectangle, then B will be exactly opposite to D. So we have drawn this rectangle. It doesn't look like rectangle, but we know that the diagram is not according to the scale, so that is why we are just considering it as a rectangle, okay? So let's solve the question. Question is very simple, only the diagram is a little bit tricky. So let's see what we need to find in first part. We need to find the bearing of B from C. So B from C bearing, as you remember in my previous lecture, I'm increasing this size. B from C bearing angle is required as this one, right? And I don't have any angle on this side, right? Also remember that it's a rectangle, then the inside angles are all 90 degree, including this and D also, right? If this part of the angle is 40 degree, then with the horizontal axis it is 50, right? Yeah, we are breaking down. Similarly, if AB line is making a 40 degree angle with the line of north, then here also we have a 40 degree angle, alternative angle of parallel line, and out of 90 if we take out this 40, then this angle will be 50, and we will shift this 50 here, and we can find the bearing of B from C, A part. It will be B from C, it is equal to, you can see that it is 360 minus 50. You can check the bearing lecture in my previous video if you want to have a clear concept. Right now I'm just solving the question for the students who had problem in these questions, right? So in A part I have my answer 310 degree. Similarly, A from C, that is easier. C was in the east of A, then A will be in the west of C. So we can orally find it. We know that it is 0 degree, it is 90, it is 180, and this is 279. So this part has a direct answer without any calculation. A from C is equal to 270 degree. Okay, so the next part is D from C. It is our C part. Now you can see D from C, we need the bearing angle from here, and this is a line DC, and this angle is required, okay? Now it's easier if you look at the diagram closely. We have found the bearing of B from C, that was 310 degree, right? It was till here, this till here, from the line of north to this line it was completely 310 degree. It was solved in first part, right? And now I need to find the bearing of D from C. You can see it is part of the same 310 answer, right? So how can we find it? Follow the line, follow the angle line, 0, 90, 180, and then this is 310 altogether. It was the previous answer. If you subtract this 90-degree angle of the rectangle from 310, you'll get this angle which is required, right? So it is simple. I am using my previous answer, 310 minus 90. This 90 is the corner angle of rectangle, so final answer will be 220 degree. Okay, so that was the easier question. Only thing matter is the correct diagram, right? And when bearings are there, so be very careful with the bearings, because in bearing we have to follow the bearing instructions to draw the points. We cannot just simply draw the rectangle and find the answers, right? So that was our first question on demand. Let's look at the next question. I had three questions, so now we are going to solve the next one. Alright, this is the question. PQ and R are 3 points on level ground. Given that the bearing of R from P is 135, angle PQR is 55 and PRQ is 48. Find the bearing of P from R, Q from R and P from Q. Now this question has been solved in my second video, which is trigonometry part 2. So please check that particular video for the solution. It is, the name of the video is trigonometry part 2, right? So if you have any question, post it in the comments. I will answer, and if you need further explanation, so I'll give it to you, right? So do check it and tell me that whether you understood or not, right? So this is already solved. Now we are going towards the third question. Let me bring the statement. Alright, so here we have our next question. That is also bearing. A, B and C are the 3 points on level ground. Given that the bearing of B from A is 122 degree, CAB is 32 and ABC is 86. Now this is simple, but the only thing that is different is find the possible bearings. When you have this instruction, find the possible bearing, it means there are more than one answer. So let's draw the diagram first. This is line of north, right? Bearing of B from A, so starting point is A, right? And the bearing is 122, so it will go in this direction. And making axis a little bit bolder. This is point B. Okay, CAB angle is 32, means at A we have a 32 degree angle. So if you add 122 and 32, it will not go beyond 180, so your next line will come in this quadrant as well, and here we must have C, right? This is one possibility. Let's place the angles. This angle was 32. I think that bearing was 122. Okay, so this is 32, and at C we don't have any angle, but at B we have 86 degree. Find C as well, maybe it is helpful in later parts. So angle C would be equal to 180 minus 32 minus 86, right? So let's do the calculations. 180 minus 32 minus 86, that will give you 62 degree, and you will place it here. Now check the parts. We need to find the bearing of C from B. So bearing of C from B means we need to make the bearing axis here, and the bearing angle will be this one, right? So how can I find it? I will subtract 180 and 122 so that I may get this angle, right? Sorry, 122 minus 90, because I know till here we have 90 degree and then we have 122, so we do the subtraction. 122 minus 90, answer is 32 degree, right? So this horizontal angle will be 32. Now you can find the bearing. It is first part, means there are two possible answers, so I'm discussing first one. Bearing of C from B is equal to, now you can follow my instruction. This is 32, subtract 86 and 32 to get this answer. It is your rough working. It will be 4 and 5, 54, and I need to find the bearing of C from B, so it will be 270 line minus 54. So you will have your answer, first possible answer. It is 270 minus 54, answer is 216. Okay, so this was the first part, first possible answer, and now we are going to find the second solution, right? So for this we need a new diagram. Just hold on a second, let me adjust the mic. Okay, so for this, because we have just one bearing in this question, and let's make a new diagram. A will remain here, B is also at the same place, and the bearing is also 122 degree. Now angle BAC with CAB or BAC is 32, that is given in the question, right? So in first we took 32 here in this direction, right? But there is a possibility that 32 will go in this direction because we don't have any other bearing, right? And then C will be somewhere here, right? And this angle would be 32, and this is 86 given in the question, and I need to find the bearing of C from B, so there is my bearing axis, and the answer required is only this angle, and this is easier to find, right? So I'm separating it from the previous part. Alright, so let's work out. If this AB line making 32 degree with the horizontal, then the same line will make the 32 degree here, right? All I need to do is to find this angle, right? So you see, if I add 32 and 86 and then I subtract this 90 degree, I'll get this angle, right? So bearing of C from B, second possibility. The working is simple. 86 is the triangle angle, minus 32 is the horizontal line angle, sorry, plus, and then minus 90 degree, in which we are subtracting this quadrant from the final answer, right? So 86 plus 32 minus 90, right? So your answer would be 28. You can use your calculator, and because it is 28, so final answer will be 0 to 8 degree, right? So that was your demanded question. For question 7, you can go check my second video, part 2, and you'll find the solution. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.